Hello everyone. Thank you for registering for the Treat Your IBS Through Ayurveda webinar. My name is Anjana and I am pleased to introduce our esteemed guest, Dr. Kanika Verma. Dr. Kanika Verma is an Ayurveda consultant with a focus on preventive Ayurveda. She specializes in Ayurvedic preventive seasonal therapy and Ayurvedic mental health management with more than 10 years of experience. Dr. Kanika Verma believes that everyone can stay healthy by simplifying the mind, diet, and lifestyle. AlterNATIVE.HEALTH is the first telemedicine portal dedicated to complementary and alternative medicine. With more than 38% of the US population and over 50% of people around the world using alternative therapies, Alternative Health is the only portal which provides all alternative therapies in one platform. Treat Your IBS with Ayurveda. In this enlightening webinar, Dr. Kanika Verma will shed light on how Ayurveda can effectively address IBS and its symptoms on our well-being. Our aim is to empower you to lead a life without relying on high-dose medications that may have undesirable side effects. With the expert guidance of Dr. Kanika Verma, you'll discover how Ayurveda can help eliminate the need of such medications and assist you in maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Without further ado, I'd like to invite Dr. Kanika to present today's session, Treat Your IBS Through Ayurveda. Over to you, Dr. Kanika Verma.
Yeah, hi. I'm very happy to be here. And I hope that this information, what we are going to share in this webinar, it brings you good health and prosperity, freedom from IBS without antibiotics. So let's start with this. There are 4 factors that are very important in controlling IBS. And that is, first is stop the causal factors. This is something which never happens in modern medicine. They say that you should continue eating everything. And now the perspective is changing. Now they're coming to the truth. They're coming to realize the truth that if you keep on eating everything, you will also keep on eating. That is causing the disorder. So first you have to stop that. So, and the second point is Shodhan Chikitsa. Third is strengthening the digestive fire. And fourth is maintaining gut health. So when you follow all of these factors, then IBS reversal. Now we are not talking about IBS treatment. Basically, we are talking about IBS reversal because certain factors have caused your digestive tract to become more irritated, right? And now you have to reverse that journey. Take it back to its original state. So taking it back to its original state is the true attitude towards healing, permanent healing. Right. So next slide, please. So stop the causal factors. This is the very interesting factor. In fact, this itself is the complete treatment according to one ancient Ayurvedic sage, Sushrut, Acharya Sushrut. He says that if only you control the causal factors, then you will be able to heal the disease. It may take a little time, but yes, you will be able to heal it completely because our body metabolism is like a river. It's a fast flowing river. It's a fast metabolism. So it is taking in things and, flushing them away. Just like the river flushes away all the dirt on the corners, on the banks, right? So if only you stop putting that filth in the river, if within few days or few hours, it will clean itself. During COVID, there's a very famous river in India called Ganga. And it was observed that once COVID happened, there was no more factories running and no more pollution happening in the river. And within few days, the river was clean because it cleaned itself. In the similar manner, if you only stop putting junk, stop putting wrong food, stop putting the food that is causing IBS, then you will be free from IBS. And there are certain things that people believe are very healthy, whereas they trigger IBS. They can aggravate IBS. For example, sprouts. Sprouts are not at all good for IBS. If you're suffering from IBS, please do not have sprouts at all, and you will see a change. Do not have raw salads. People believe that raw salads, they will have a lot of fiber and they will help us control IBS, but that is again another myth. So there are a lot of things that are considered healthy. So it's not only, I'm not talking about junk food like pizza, burger, and all these things. Definitely, I believe that if you're suffering from IBS, you've already left all that because there's no way out. The worst thing, so Nidan Parivarjana, that's what we are talking about, Nidan Parivarjana, preventing diet. What is the worst thing about IBS is that most of the people, they get into the trap of antibiotics. Initially, IBS, it's very difficult to diagnose. First of all, you have some diarrhea or some constipation, then you have stomach pain. So people believe that, okay, probably it's diarrhea. So they get antibiotics and it's treated, it's healed. And I believe that if you're suffering from IBS, you have already gone through many such cycles. You get healed with this antibiotic course, then you go ahead with your normal lifestyle, and then you land in the same space. You're again suffering from this diarrhea, from constipation, from weight loss, all the symptoms of IBS, and then you again take a longer course of antibiotics, right? Again, you feel a temporary relief, and then you go ahead with your lifestyle, and then you again get it. So this hampers not only the physical health of a person suffering from IBS, it also degrades the entire quality of life. It makes person feel anxious and depressed because they don't know what to eat then, and they're scared that anything that they eat will trigger IBS. So IBS has a profound impact on life. It's not only the stomach pain or discomfort. It has a profound impact. And therefore, preventing the cause is the foundation. Well, I'll tell you, because when you prevent the cause, you're basically preventing the aggravation of disease, first thing. Second thing is that now the treatment will actually start working. Because if you keep on eating the same food, the medicines will be fighting the bad effect of the wrong food instead of working on the healing process. So Nidan Parivarjanam is very important. And the problem is that most of the people do not know what to eat and what not to eat. This is the major problem. So let us first talk about this IBS preventing diet according to the ancient text. Your diet should be free of oil as much as possible. Free of oil. It should be free of sweet food, heavy, dense food, and everything like pizza, burger, and all that are completely eliminated in this. At the same time, you should have healing diet. Healing diet is very important. Here I will talk about some things that are very important that you should not eat, and you need to know this because they are considered normally to be very healthy. First, I talked about sprouts. Sprouts you should not have. They have excess protein. They create dryness inside the body. Your intestines are already irritated. They are already hypersensitive. So if these sprouts, according to Ayurveda, they create dryness, they do contain excess protein. They have a lot of protein. But right now, you're not in a condition to digest that protein. And that brings me to another point, that consume what you can digest. And here I'll give you some example. Yeah. If you have a very beautiful dictionary, very high profile, very high-end dictionary, good quality. But if you give it to a child who is like 5, 6 years old, doesn't even know how to read and write, will that child be able to use that dictionary? No. In the similar manner, sprouts are great. They are great for people who have good digestion, the people who are able to break down the sprouts, because it's not that you take in the sprouts and sprouts will give you protein. Proteins are the hardest things to digest and absorb. If you go and study, you will find that proteins, they require active absorption. Fats and sugars, they naturally permeate through the body. They're very easy to absorb. You can absorb sugar even in your mouth. That's why it's said that you should chew your food more, so that most of the things are absorbed in the mouth itself and they reach directly to the brain. So sugars and fats are very relatively easier to digest, but proteins are very difficult to digest. If you are having sprouts, you are burdening your weak intestines to work harder, right? And if you ask a weak person to run for a marathon, what will happen? Probably the person will collapse, right? So you should not put such things in your system. That creates more hindrance, that creates more problem, right? So that is about sprouts. It's very important. You can go ahead and study. They have excess protein, but it's difficult to break them down. Only athletes, people with a lot of manual labor, with people who are doing manual labor, they have a very high rate of metabolism. The things are happening very fast. They have the strength and stamina to break down these sprouts and take out the energy from them. So this is only about sprouts. There are many other things like cheese. Cheese is full of protein, but and people are eating cheese left, right, and center. This is again another problem for all the digestive disorders, because according to Ayurveda, cheese is again very heavy. Obviously, because it has a lot of protein, and you should be eating it only if you are physically active. If you're not physically active, it will create more toxins. And one thing which you must know is that the food that gets inside the body, if it is not digested properly, it just does not keep sitting there. It rots, because there is stomach acid. Stomach acid, it covers all food, and it breaks down the food and makes it easier to digest. That's a part of the stomach. Okay, but what happens if you have this kind of food which is very heavy, very dense? Then the stomach acid is not able to break it down. So the first process is not complete. The second process also suffers when it goes in intestine, and nothing actually gets absorbed. The problem is you're eating everything. You're eating sprouts, you're eating cheese. Normally these things, they're recommended for weakness, for weight loss, which is a common feature in IBS. What happens in IBS? You're not able to eat, you're not able to digest, so you become weaker. Gradually, you may lose certain amount of weight. Some people do, some people do not. But weakness is a common factor. So so probably doctors may advise that take cheese, take sprouts, and which is the worst thing. I've seen it so many times. And the IBS, it becomes worse with all this consumption. And people don't know what is happening, because they feel that, okay, I'm taking everything, right? Now, what's the problem? Raw salads is again another problem, as we have already discussed, right? So excess amount of oil, which people believe, this is an Ayurvedic myth. Okay, there is a process called Panchakarma, and in that there's another process, Snehan, wherein you drink oil, and that helps to moisturize your intestine. But you should not be doing that unless and until without a medical supervision, because that will completely destroy your digestive fire. Many people, they try to follow Ayurveda and they try to do the Snehan, which is another problem I've seen. And this completely destroys the digestive fire. And then they say, okay, my God, I've practiced Ayurveda and still it's not working, because you're practicing Ayurveda in the wrong manner. So ghee intake, ghee is considered to be Agni Vardhak. Agni Vardhak means it enhances digestive fire. It is all very good for intestines. But you should take ghee only when you're able to digest it, right? The digestion, healing the digestive system should be the primary goal of food that you consume when you have IBS. So when you do that, then body itself gets the space to get healed, right? So these are some of the factors. There are many, and try to avoid other pulses like rajma, pigeon pea, and all kinds of grams. Black gram, especially, you must never have black gram. If you're suffering from IBS, you should not have chola, chana, rajma. These are all, these are all pulses, leguminous plants, and they are excellent source of proteins. All the dals, all the pulses. But try to avoid all kinds of pulses, all kind of grams when you're suffering from IBS. They're excellent source of protein, but they're very heavy to digest. You will not get anything from them. The major thing is not eating. The major thing is absorption. If you're not able to absorb, it doesn't benefit you. Okay, so please avoid eating all of these things if you're suffering from IBS. Only very good pulse, very good gram, which you should have when you're suffering from IBS, is moong dal. Moong dal or green gram is excellent for IBS. You must consume it. It will give you easily available protein. this dal is very easy to digest and it gives you readily bioavailable protein, which is also easy to absorb. Okay, so this makes sense. If you eat moong dal, when you have IBS, it makes a lot of sense, right? Now, another problem is people, they believe that they should consume millets when they have IBS. Millets should be consumed with a lot of care because millets, again, they create dryness inside the body according to Ayurveda. They're very healthy otherwise. They're very healthy. So if you're consuming millets, you should have some kind of soupy preparation which makes them wet and not dry preparation. Ideally, avoid consuming too dry food if you have IBS. Roasted grains, roasted chana, roasted Bengal gram. It's a heavy source of proteins considered to be very good. Please avoid it if you have IBS. And all kind of dry roasted food, because too dry, too wet, too hot, too cold. Ice cream is I don't know, it's a curse if you consume while having IBS, because it will aggravate your IBS like anything. So have a very balanced kind of moderate kind of approach towards food, not too hot, not too cold. And yes, now let us move to this preventing IBS, preventing lifestyle. Lifestyle is extremely important. Why? Because lifestyle gives you biorhythm. Major people suffering from IBS, if you look at them, they have random lifestyle. They skip their meals when they're hungry. When they're not hungry, they start eating. Okay, when they're sleepy, they don't go to sleep. And when they're not sleepy, they go to sleep. Worst thing, they go to sleep during the daytime. If you have IBS, please never go to sleep during daytime. Try to keep awake. Try to listen to music. Coffee is not an option. It's not a great option because it's a habit forming thing. So if you want to avoid sleeping during the daytime, get into some rigorous activities. So I used to feel sleepy during daytime. I joined one class. During the time I used to feel sleepy. So now that time, when it passes, then you don't feel sleepy anymore. And nighttime sleep is very important because it is healing in nature. So you see, biorhythm is extremely important. Now let's move to the other thing. Fasting. Fasting is it's not that you have to not eat anything. That is not the kind of fasting recommended for IBS. It depends on body type. Now Ayurveda has 3 body types: Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, and each person has different symptoms of IBS. So you will see some people have more chronic diarrhea. Some people have more tendency towards constipation. Some people have more tendency towards weight loss. Some people, they do not lose a lot of weight while suffering from IBS. So this all is related to body type. So if you consult an Ayurveda physician or you go online, you'll be able to find your body type. And when you know yourself, this body type is a code. And when you apply this code, you get the right approach towards treatment, because each person responds to different type of treatment. And therefore, the fasting also is decided accordingly. The fasting, there are many types of fasting. There's a buttermilk fasting. Yes, one more important thing. You must avoid dairy products. You must avoid dairy products except for few things like buttermilk. Buttermilk is very light to digest. And it's very good for IBS. It is surprising that you should avoid all dairy products, cheese, milk, yogurt, everything, but you must consume buttermilk. So this is a part of healing diet. You must consume buttermilk that is tempered buttermilk. There's a traditional preparation of buttermilk with a tempering of curry leaves and mustard seeds and asafoetida and all these things. So that buttermilk, if you consume every day, you will see a marked reduction in your IBS, because buttermilk contains lactase, and it contains lactase that helps in digestion, and it helps to replenish the flora. According to Ayurveda, yogurt, please do not consume yogurt. Everyone advises yogurt, but logically considering, yogurt has cream. Cream is heavy. It has butter, because when you churn yogurt, you get butter. So butter is inside yogurt. There's so much of cream. It is actually heavy. It's not light to digest. According to Ayurveda, yogurt is heavy, but buttermilk is light. Buttermilk is light. When you take out the cream, it becomes light. It contains all the basic nutrition of yogurt and also enzyme lactase, which help to replenish the flora. So please, must consume is buttermilk. If you do nothing else, please do this. Next slide, please. Okay, so next step, when you have stopped the disease causing factors, when you're eating very light diet, moong dal khichdi is another very important thing that you can eat when you are suffering from IBS. So when you have controlled your diet, you have regularized your lifestyle to a certain extent, right? It may not be possible for you to change completely. I had a person who was working in a call center and he had IBS for obvious reasons. So he could not change his job. And still he had certain significant relief. Why? Because he was able to change his diet. So you're not able to change his lifestyle, that's also fine. But if you're able to change your diet, that works, right? So then, yes, the food, deepen pachan, the next step in IBS reversal is first to stop the cause so that IBS is not getting aggravated. It is the disease is not getting the feed, the nutrition because of wrong food, wrong lifestyle. So now it is only a specific amount of disease that you have to cure. The disease is not growing. Okay, so when you have this specific set of imbalance inside the body that you have to cure, now you start deepen pachan. Deepen pachan is very important in Ayurveda because you know what happened? The word deepen, it means to light up, and pachan means to digest. You have to digest the toxins that are formed inside the body. Now, no more toxins are getting formed because of good diet and lifestyle. So, you have to remove the toxins that are accumulated for a certain duration of time earlier, right? So, now that's the only thing to do. What you can do, the safe method that you can practice at home. Deepen pachan, which means kindling the digestive fire by consumption of warm herbs. Warm herbs, very simple. They're found in every Indian kitchen. Cumin and green cardamom, black cardamom, bay leaf, all these herbs you should consume. There is a preparation called panchakol. It's available in market also. This is a must-have preparation if you are consuming, if you are suffering from IBS, right? And panchakol is a very bad tasting preparation. Okay, but you put only few pinches of panchakol in every day when you're cooking your moong dal khichdi. You put panchakol, you will definitely see a significant relief in your IBS. You must consume this panchakol, or else what you can do, you can have a pinch of panchakol or 5 pinches of panchakol. If you increase the amount, it will be good for you according to the advice of a physician. Okay, so at least 1 pinch you take and drink 1 glass of buttermilk on top of that, and imagine the change. One thing I would like to clarify here, this buttermilk should be churned and the butter should be removed. Otherwise, it will not be a buttermilk. Okay. So the ideal preparation is that you mix 25% of water in yogurt, churn it at least 2 to 3 times, remove all butter, and then this is the buttermilk that you should have. It's not only diluting the yogurt and making buttermilk. You must actually be removing the cream, which is heavy to digest. So this is one very important thing. If you are consuming buttermilk, otherwise it will create another problem. So this is, yeah, and then we move to fasting. So deepen pachan herbs, they are found everywhere. Turmeric is very important for healing IBS. You must put turmeric inside your food. In fact, turmeric tea, I highly recommend turmeric tea. And not that, prepared paper turmeric tea. If you can get fresh turmeric is available in most parts of the world now, or turmeric powder also. Fresh turmeric, just chop it and put in water. It'll give a beautiful red color. Boil it till it gets red. And this is the healing tea for IBS. I'm telling you, do this, right? Another very important preparation that is mentioned in Charak Samhita, I've seen it work wonders in most of the cases, is pomegranate, this pomegranate carrot soup. And you have to, it's a very basic preparation. You take carrots, fresh carrots, make juice and pulpy juice. Don't remove the fiber. And then pomegranate juice. Pomegranate juice, if you do not have pomegranate, fresh pomegranate, this pomegranate powder, anardana powder, which is easily available in all Indian grocery stores across the world. It is generally used in cooking preparations also. So this anardana powder, you take equal proportions, like 1 glass of carrot juice, 1 glass of pomegranate juice. If pomegranate juice is not available, you just take 2 tablespoons of pomegranate powder, and make a soup of all these things. And you can add tempering of cumin, bay leaf, and all these herbs. This soup alone has significant benefit. Just change your diet and lifestyle to moong dal khichdi, buttermilk, and this pomegranate carrot soup. I'm telling you, crossing my heart, you will see, you will not need to visit any doctor. You will not need to visit any doctor. No matter whatever is your body type, no matter whatever is your health condition, whatever is your age, this works. So please just follow this. And yes, fasting types and procedure, we'll go through it very fast. There are multiple types of fasting. One of very effective fasting for IBS is buttermilk fasting, which I highly, highly recommend. You take this tempered buttermilk and prepare the buttermilk like the way I mentioned. Okay, so this buttermilk, and do not consume anything throughout the day. Once in a week, if you do this fasting, you are on the journey of IBS reversal without medication. Without medication. See, medications are important. They help to accelerate the changes. They prevent problems like headache. When you're fasting, you may have headache or you may feel weak. Medicines help to control, to provide a controlled environment for healing. So medicines, they have their importance, but and with medicines you can heal faster. Like if you are healing like this for 6 months, then medicines can help you. If you're old, then definitely you need medicines to assist you, right? But with this kind of diet, I'm telling you, within 6 months, if you rigorously follow this, you'll be through. You'll be through from IBS. So this fasting, buttermilk fasting is important. No dairy products except buttermilk. Then another fasting is pomegranate carrot juice fasting, where you have only pomegranate carrot juice. Do not mix any grains in it. No grains. One other very important thing is that grains are the hardest thing to digest. If you need energy, grains are the hardest. Fruits are the easiest. Vegetables are the easiest, right? So first priority should be fruits. Unless suddenly you're suffering from diabetes or anything. Even in diabetes, you can take fruits that do not have high sugar content, like apple, pears. They do not have a very high sugar content compared to mango. And so fruits are the first choice. Fruits, they give fiber. Fruits, they're easy to digest. Fruits help in healing, right? So fruits should be a first choice. Cooked vegetables, never raw vegetables. Cooked vegetables should be your second choice, and that to go for root vegetables. Do not try to consume brinjal or cauliflower, cabbage in lot of amount, because they create gas. They derail the digestive system. If you have to consume these vegetables, add warming herbs, so that their dryness will be controlled. All right, so this vegetables should be a second choice. Third choice should be grains. Very rarely, if you have to consume grains, even moong dal khichdi, only afternoon, not dinner time. If you consume any grains after sunset, you will aggravate your IBS. And that I'm telling you for sure. And it is possible to go with a grainless dinner. It's quite possible. I practice no dinner. I do not eat after sunset. I have been doing it for years now, and you know that I survive, right? So do not eat any grains after sunset. It's extremely important. And just go for fruits, and all these soups like this will help you. Even you can consume buttermilk at night. Yogurt is not normally Ayurveda advice that you should not consume yogurt at night, but buttermilk you can consume at night. So that is the benefit. Then yoga is extremely important. This one thing which you can practice, because it triggers the vital points inside your body, vital points called marma. Okay. These marma, when there's the energy blockage or metabolic blockage, these marma, they get blocked. And if you can switch on the marma, then You can also, this contributes heavily in reversing IBS. People ignore it. They believe, okay, it's just some exercise. But when you're suffering from IBS, you may not be able to exercise. Weakness is one of the prominent, element of IBS. And yoga is something that can help you get over weakness as well as trigger, switch on your digestive system. And so this is what you can see, this yoga, Pavan Muktasana, it helps in bloating. It helps to enhance digestive fire. It relieves indigestion. It relieves constipation, which is a common feature. Marjarasana does that, right? And this Bhujangasana is very good. Naukasana is very good. So there are many asanas which are very good. Ardha Chandrasana is very good. I have only mentioned 3, but these 3 are the most important. There are many other asanas, and I believe you can get to know if you consult any yoga trainer or anyone. They'll tell you more about these asanas. So we can move to next slide. Yeah, maintaining gut health. One of the biggest problems with IBS is relapse. People relapse. If they follow all this lifestyle, I've seen that very, very often that, and then they immediately see a change. When they follow this lifestyle, they immediately see a change and they feel, all right, I'm cured now. Yay, let me go back to, once in a while they go for a party and they start getting into these things because they feel safe eating all things. And then suddenly there is a relapse. And you see, relapse is much more difficult to cure than plain IBS. In fact, IBS itself is considered to be a relapse of atisar or diarrhea in many cases, because once you have diarrhea, you ignore. You just take some, anti-diarrheal medicines that uh, that that stop the tone of the intestine. That is not cure. It's not cure. It's just strangling the body. Okay, so you take anti-diarrheal, the diarrhea stops, and then you go on eating all these things. So then you get IBS, and if IBS relapses, then this is a multiplying exponential problem. So you should not see, when you follow the diet and lifestyle. I believe in within a month you will see a change. Within 6 months you will see significant change, 80% change. I can tell you for sure. Okay, and this is wonderful. But when you see a change after 6 months, do not start eating wrong food again. Do not eat cheese. Do not eat sprouts. It's very important. I've seen so many cases where people, they they feel okay, I'm cured, and they go on eating all these things. If you eat, then the IBS recurs, and then it will take maybe longer duration to get cured, another duration to get cured. According to Ayurveda, if a disease has occurred, uh, it has, the incubation time of the disease is, let's say 6 months, then it will take 1 year to heal. Keep that in mind. Ayurvedic treatment may give you instant results, but internal healing takes place over an extended period of time. So you should follow a very maintained diet and lifestyle at least for a year, even if you see recovery. So this is important. So yeah, this is very important. And then the next thing, we'll move to our next slide. Okay. Yeah, this is one very important case study, which is Mrs. Vidita. Yeah. And she was a young lady. She was not only suffering from IBS, she was suffering from acid reflux, and she was also suffering from PCOD. In fact, her periods had almost stopped. So this was her case. And it was very severe case of IBS. Now, what she did is she was practicing all these things that, she was eating sprouts, and because she was extremely weak. So she was eating all kind of protein. She was taking protein shakes, which is a horrible thing to take if you have IBS. Please do not take protein shakes. Okay. And she had severe bloating, severe farting. In fact, she was farting like uh, 10 to 15 times in an hour time. That bad was the condition. Okay. So then, and she had constipation, severe constipation, not loose motions that much, but yes, majority severe constipation. Once in a while she will have loose motion. So this was the condition. And she was in Germany. So she was married to a person in Germany. She was 6 months, she'll stay in Germany, 6 months, she'll come back home to India. And in this case, she had no accessibility to Ayurvedic medicine for at least 6 months when she started the treatment. And then what happened is, I gave her a preparation, a powder according to her body type and all, that you have all these herbs like cumin, green cardamom, black cardamom, asafoetida, you mix them in a certain proportion, have this powder. And then within a week, in fact, within 2 to 3 days, her bloating stopped, her farting stopped. Okay, she had castor oil. Castor oil was available and no other purgative was available. So she had castor oil and her constipation was completely relieved. Okay, now castor oil is habit forming. So if you're using it for constipation relief, you must not use it again and again, right? So it is, see, IBS, if you have constipation, you have to go into a cycle of detox and healing. Detox and healing. Otherwise, if you just go on using castor oil, then it will be habit forming. Your intestines will become stiff and they will become worse. Your constipation will become worse. So that is one thing. Yeah, another very important thing, she was practicing hydrotherapy. Hydrotherapy means, you take water up your colon and then the, colon is completely clean. Initially, it works great, but after some time, it stops giving you the result. And same thing happened with her constipation. It aggravated with hydrotherapy. I'll give you one very, very simple example here. What happens is, when you are washing your hands with water, does your hand become moist or dry if you keep on washing your hands again and again and again? So I bet your hands will become dry, your palms will become dry because you're washing so many times, and water is not the hydrating factor inside our body. Oil is the hydrating factor. Oil and water, they form an emulsion, and that emulsion runs the body. If it is only water, will not survive, will dry up. Okay, the same thing happens to intestine. If you take too much of water all the time, intestine loses its oily moisturization. The oil is also flushed away every time. Anyways, the constipated intestine is dry. So, if you use hydrotherapy for a long time, it doesn't work. So please stop using hydrotherapy if you have IBS. Instead, go for Panchakarma treatment. They will give you oily enema, and it is called Anuvasan Vasti. And Anuvasan Vasti, it definitely helps. So then I stopped. At least don't take hydrotherapy, and she used castor oil. Castor oil is oily. The thing is, it helps to moisturize the intestine, right? And that is the reason why it worked for her. It worked, and she was relieved of constipation and all. Besides, she started feeling hungry. That was the best thing. She gained a little weight. Her anemia was controlled, and this was things that, like, so she had multiple problems. She was undergoing some surgeries and all, lot of other things, PCOD and all. But this thing, her IBS, was completely controlled within, like, even before 6 months, she controlled it. So at least that problem was controlled, and it has not reoccurred because she is careful with her meals and everything. All right. And right now she's following one very good routine. It's called Ritucharya routine. Ritucharya means you should eat according to seasons. And if you want to know more about it, you'll find some online resources about Ritucharya. So this is the next case study, Mrs. Manjula Purushottam. She was aged 60 years old, and her major problem was compulsive eating. She left her job. She took an early retirement, and after that, suddenly she was like, she didn't have a lot to do, and she got into that anxiety, and she started eating like every time. And at that time, she was fit. She is like normally the kapha body type, which normally don't fall sick. So she's strong, healthy. She had good weight. So she started this compulsive eating, and I think within a year, in fact, the problem with her, she would eat food stored for many days, because when she was working, she would do a bulk preparation, and then she continued it, and then she got into this IBS. And with her, the problem is she went to many physicians, and she took antibiotics many times. So her IBS was in very bad condition, and she was also immune to all the antibiotics by the time I met her, right? So, one of the best effect of this carrot pomegranate juice I've seen on her, and she actually consumed a lot of medicines because she is in India and she has easy access. So you see, Shankha Basma, Mukta Shukti, and Hingwashtak Chun, these are some very good remedies for IBS. Bale powder, you see, bale preparations. There are certain bale murabba and all these things. Bale soup is very good for IBS. So all these things she could consume, and she recovered very fast. She recovered very fast, and the best thing is that she continued following the good diet and lifestyle. Even now, she never eats after sunset, and she has very light food normally, right? And now she's eating everything. It's been like more than 1 year. In fact, yeah, more than 2 years. Now she's eating cheese. Now she's eating sprouts, and she doesn't have a problem. She doesn't get into all these things, bloating and all these things like that. But yes, she uses a lot of deeper nerves. That means digestive herbs to be able to digest all these heavy foods. She eats all of these heavy foods. Like if she has to eat urad dal, she eats only during afternoon. So these are two successful studies. And you know why most of the studies are not, why most of the cases are not successful? Because people, they get better and they start eating all junk again, all the wrong things again, wrong time, and then they again relapse. So you see, it takes time to understand that you have to be on a recovery journey forever, because body, it is called sharir. That means shiryate iti shariram. The body is continuously disintegrating. Right now, you and everyone is moving towards old age every day. Our body is gradually disintegrating. It starts accelerating. The disintegration accelerates after the age of 60, right? So we have to keep that in mind. And we are not growing children. If you're listening to all this, you're not growing children, I believe. And the catabolism, or the breaking down process, is accelerating each and every day as we move towards old age. So you have to become more and more careful as you age. You cannot get into the kind of random lifestyle that you could have practiced as a youth. So it's very important to understand this. So yes, thank you so much. That's all I have to say. And if you want to ask anything, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you, doctor. So participants, any questions or for more information from Dr. Kanika Verma, you can place your questions or doubts in the Q&A box down there.
Yeah, doctor, there are about 8 questions. Can you see them?
No. Okay, one second.
One
second. One second. Open. Yeah, I can see them. Can Ayurveda help manage IBS symptoms without? Yes. Yes. No doubts about that. Ayurveda can help manage IBS symptoms without any side effect. The people I've seen, the majority symptom was weakness. And with this healing diet, as I've told you, buttermilk, it provides you instant energy. I'm telling you, this pomegranate carrot juice, instant energy. Another symptom, bloating. You use these digestive herbs, you use some powders. There are some powders that are prescribed, like Agni Deepan Churn or Hingwashtak Churn. They help you control bloating, farting. There is a detox therapy, and there are certain medicines which help you lose constipation completely. So there's a course, first, especially if you're considering constipation, then you detox using a purgative for a specific duration of time, like 4 days or 8 days, and then you go into a healing process. So detox and healing, like that. So, you move your intestinal health in a positive manner. You move it towards a, complete reversal. So each and every symptom can be controlled without side effect. The only thing is that when you're using detox, you have to be careful because all the purgatives, they are habit forming, right? So they don't have to be used for a long duration. If you're suffering from constipation, please keep. This is a worst mistake people use. They use Nityam, Kayam, Churn, or any kind of Sanai preparation. These they help to remove constipation, and they are all Ayurvedic medicines, but they are habit forming. So you have to use them. Then you have to get into a healing process by using Triphala. Triphala is one of the best preparations for constipation and bloating and all kinds of problems. So yes, these are other prominent side effects, and there are some minor side effects like headache and nausea and feeling of dizziness, depression, and all these. Yes, now if you have depression, either you can use meditation and other therapies of Ayurveda. There is a therapeutic therapy part where you don't have to eat medicines, you just use therapies like Sattva Vajaya is a therapy, meditation, mindfulness, these are all the kind of things. But they're very effective medicines also. For example, Manas Mitra Vatakam is extremely effective for depression as a symptom of IBS. And none of these medicines have any side effects if they're used properly, especially purgatives. They are habit forming. If you use them properly, they don't have side effects. These medicines like Manas Mitra Vatakam, they can be used for years on. Triphala is completely side effect free. It's non-habit forming, and now it's like scientifically proven. You can go online and do the research that Triphala is completely non-habit forming. So even if you consume it for years on, you will not have any side effects. It's one of the very good medicine to remove constipation as a symptom. If you have constipation, please go for Triphala. If you have jaundice, then other medicines are applicable like bale fruit and all these pomegranate carrot juice. And there are multiple other medicines also like Bilajil. Bilajil is very effective in controlling jaundice. So these are some of the medicines that can help to manage almost all IBS symptoms without any side effect. The best effect of these medicines is that they do not control only one symptom. They help in many symptoms. For example, Triphala helps in bloating, indigestion, constipation. It helps to purify liver, purify blood, remove all kind of, enhance your digestive fire so that you can digest better and the weakness goes away. So Triphala itself has multiple benefits, right? So all these medicines, they have a wide spectrum of benefits. They don't affect only one symptom. This is the best thing about Ayurvedic treatment. So this is one thing. The next question is, how does Ayurveda address the role of stress in IBS and its impact? Yes, very important. You see, in fact, according to Ayurveda, when you study the causes of Ayurveda, one of the major cause is shoka. Shoka means sorrow, sadness, misery, depression, right? And another is chinta. Chinta means worry, anxiety, stress. So these are the causes. And here we are talking about Nidan Parivarjanam. That means cause prevention. You must prevent these causes. Because if you do not prevent the stress and all, it will definitely aggravate your IBS. And it causes recurrent relapse also. There are people who are prone to stress and they have frequent relapse compared to people who are not prone to stress. Okay, so yes, sorry, Ayurveda addresses the role of stress. There are multiple things I recommend for stress prevention. First of all, addressing the cause. Even you can go for psychotherapy. That helps a lot. You can go for meditation, mindfulness, and there are specific medicines, Ayurvedic medicines, that can help to relieve stress to a certain level. But these medicines, I recommend, do not be dependent on these medicines for controlling stress, and try to be more mindful, because when we are mindful, then we look at how to solve the problems instead of just looking at the problems, getting transfixed from the problems. you must have seen that, in some movies, the car is coming and the person he gets transfixed by the glow of the car and he's not able to move. He's not able to jump aside. This is what we do with stress. If there is a problem, we get stressed and we are just transfixed on that problem instead of trying to solve that problem. Mindfulness. I have practiced mindfulness and meditation for many, many years. Mindfulness gives you the problem solving aspect. So when you are in a problem solving mode, you feel in charge, you feel in control, and then the stress goes away completely. So there are medicines, but I don't believe that you should be dependent on medicines. Once in a while, yes, for initially you can use them, but later on, I sincerely believe that there are so many centers that teach meditation free of cost, the Brahma Kumari, Heartfulness, Art of Living, and so on. You go there. This is the better way of releasing stress than taking medicines. Okay, so yes, the impact is huge. That is something I've already clarified. Now, can Ayurveda treatment help improve digestion and regular bowel movement in IV? Yes, yes. It definitely can help to improve digestion. First thing, as we have already talked, it prevents the thing that derail digestion. So once you're preventing the thing that is derailing digestion, see, the thing is now, we have a life force. We have a life force, and if you want to heal IBS or any other body condition, you have to believe in that life force. When you believe in that life force flushes, through your body, all the toxins and all the impurities. So when you want to see, I've seen people with cancer surviving and recovering because they have greater life force, right? So the thing is, after you have cut down all the disease causing factors, this life force flushes away all the problems of IBS. And how to improve digestion? There are many things. As we have already talked about, deepen pachan, lighting up the digestive fire. Lighting up the digestive fire, you can do in 3 ways. Okay. First thing, you should regularize your biorhythm. Eat at a particular time. Eat. See, if you do not follow this, we have medicines for improving digestion. You will get dependent on those medicines. I don't want you to get dependent on digestives. There are a lot of digestives, but better thing is, first thing, regularize your biorhythm. Eat lunch at a specific time. And one more important thing, do not eat when you're not hungry. Eat when you're hungry, and try to gradually, you'll become accustomed to it, and you will have a specific range of time when you're feeling hungry. Eat at that time. Have very light breakfast. There's a saying in Ayurveda, eat like a prince. The breakfast you should eat like a prince. The lunch you should eat like a king. And dinner you should eat like a beggar. In IBS, dinner, yes, definitely you must eat like a beggar, something that is very, very bare, right? That's something you should eat fruits, vegetable soup, something like this. Okay, so this regularizing the biorhythm is the first step towards improving digestion. I can give you medicines. Other physicians also can give you medicines. But if you don't regularize your biorhythm, you will be dependent on the medicines. Second thing is, eat very light food. Because, you see, when you are making a bonfire, you should have dry, light sticks. Dry, light sticks are easy to burn for a small fire. When the fire grows big, then you could put big logs on it. But if the fire is small and you put big logs on that fire, the fire will extinguish. Same thing happens with IBS patients. In fact, with everyone. Your fire is very small. You hardly have any fire left. If you are suffering from IBS, if you put big logs on it, another thing which you have already discussed, cheese, sprouts, if you eat all of these things, then your digestive file will become even worse. So next step is avoid all these heavy foods, eat light food, very light food, and third is medicine. There are lots of very good medicines. In fact, this CCFT, human cardamom fennel tea, is one of the very effective ways to not only prevent all kind of symptoms, but also to improve your digestion. These are simple things, put Put warm herbs in your food. Have this turmeric tea, have warm food. Do not have cold food, because warmth also helps to improve digestion. Go for body massage. Is one of the very beautiful Ayurvedic therapy that helps to improve your digestion, improve your overall health. So this is also one very important part in a IBS treatment of Ayurveda. So see, this is something. And yes, evacuation is very important. IBS people suffer from constipation. So go for Triphala. It's a safe remedy to relieve constipation. Sometimes even Triphala is not able to help. And then you have to go for purgative. So here you have to consult someone, right? So then that person will be able to treat you with a personalized treatment. Next is, how does Ayurveda view the connection between gut health and overall well-being in IBS? As I've already said earlier, gut health. Gut is the door to nutrition. It is the door through which your life force enters. If you have no nutrition, all the other processes in the body will die, the heart will die, the brain will die if the gut is not there, right? So gut health is the key to entire health, complete health. If and it's not about gut, it is, Ayurveda says, digestive fire, right? And Vedic culture, it prays, it worships fire. So worship or reverence towards your digestive fire. Reverence is the right attitude. So because when you have reverence, you do not put any and everything inside your body. You try to preserve this fire. You try to put only the right things. Reverence is the attitude. So when you have reverence, then you will have excellent digestive fire. And this digestive fire will give you the nutrition that will help the entire body. So yes, gut health is the foundation for overall well-being. If you don't have gut health, you don't have, trust me, don't have any health. Okay. So how does Ayurveda consider individual dosha imbalance? I think very important, very important. However, I did not talk much about this because many people are not aware about dosha system. So there are 3 doshas predominantly, and Vata, Pitta, Kapha, and IBS is also classified into 4 categories. In fact, 5 or 6 categories also in many texts. One is Vata dominant, Vata dominant IBS, Pitta dominant IBS, Kapha dominant IBS. Then there is another Raktaj IBS also, where blood comes out, in some form. And then there is Shokaj IBS, which is so interesting. Shokaj means it is out of sorrow or depression, you get IBS. So there's Shokaj IBS. And all of Shokaj IBS is very difficult to cure, because first you have to cure the mind. Mind is the cause. So all of these are individual doshas. Now, the important factor is that each person also has a prakriti or a body type. Okay, so you have to consider your body type, and then accordingly the symptoms. I'll just briefly describe the symptoms. The symptoms are Vata dominant people, they suffer from bloating, constipation, they have dryness inside their body, weakness, and weight loss is very prominent. Okay, in Pitta dominant people, there's majorly inflammation, acid reflux. They may have a lot of inflammation inside their body every time they eat, and they have diarrhea. That's the prominent symptom. Headache may be a prominent symptom. They may even get migraine. Kapha dominant people, they don't lose weight normally, but they have other symptoms. They have symptom of vomiting. They feel nauseous. They feel indigestion, heaviness inside the body. All these are prominent symptoms. And then Sannipataj means all the doshas combined. So there are variety of symptoms in this, all mixed, and this is very severe. And then Shokaj, obviously you have mixed symptoms, but the prominent symptom is depression. The person is depressed. That doesn't feel like, why it is difficult to cure, because the person is not willing to make the changes in this case. Okay, so next is, what IBS herbs are effective in relieving IBS bloating and gas. I will tell you all the warming herbs, CCFT. Then cumin is very effective, black cardamom, green cardamom, cinnamon is effective, fennel is effective. Okay, Hing or asafoetida is very effective. One of the very good preparation is Hingvashtak Churna. You must take Hingvashtak Churna if you're suffering from this. Or you can take Chitrakadi Vati. Or you can take, yes, Chitrakadi Vati is very good. Then Hingwadi Vati is very good. Depending on Marichadi Vati is also, it works in certain cases. So there are lots of things. Black pepper is very good, right? So you can have all these things, and any kind of warm thing. Do not have any cold thing. Warmth helps in relieving bloating and gas. Besides, there are many other things. Body massage helps. It helps effectively. Putting hot water bag, obviously, it helps in bloating and all. Keeping your body warm. Do not have cold water bath. So there are multiple factors. And the herbs also. Yes, as I've told you already, majority of the herbs are already available in our kitchen. So these are the herbs, right? Then how long does it take to heal IBS with Ayurveda treatment? Depends. 6 months is, I've seen very good results if you follow the protocol. But if you have other health conditions, like if you have diabetes, hypertension, if you're old, young people, it takes less time to cure. Old people, it takes more time to cure. And if you have other conditions, then it takes more time to cure. Otherwise, for a normal person who's young, below 35 years of age and with less symptoms, no comorbidities, it takes 6 months maximum. And the one who follows all the treatment protocols. So this is, can IBS medicine be taken along with allopathy? Yes, they can be taken along with allopathy medicine. But the first thing I'll tell you is that most of the allopathy treatment is concentrated around antibiotics, and they don't help. Other medicines, they're side effect causing. So yes, you can take. And as the symptoms gradually reduce, I believe that you will be less dependent on allopathy medicine. So yes, thank you so much. And I believe that we are done with all the questions.
Thank you everyone for joining us today for Treat Your IBS Through Ayurveda webinar. We hope that you found this session valuable and informative. We would like to express our sincere gratitude to Dr. Kanika Verma for sharing her expertise with us. If you have any further questions or would like to learn more about Ayurvedic remedies or alternative medicine, please visit AlterNATIVE.HEALTH. You can take consultations with Dr. Kanika Verma through our portal www.alternative.health. So thank you again for attending and have a great day. Thank you all.
Thank you.